My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
Feel your max with Brooks Running and the all-new Ghost Max 2. They're the shoes you deserve, designed to streamline your stride and help protect your body. Treat yourself to feel-good landings on an ultra-high stack of super comfy nitrogen-infused cushion that takes the edge off every step, every day. The Brooks Ghost Max 2. You know, technically, they're a form of self-care. Brooks, let's run there. Head to brooksrunning.com to learn more.
This is Optimal Health Daily. Ring the Alarm. Off Limits, The Enemy of Success by Roger Lawson of rajlawfitness.com. And I'm Dr. Neil, your host and narrator. Hey there, welcome back to another episode of Optimal Health Daily. This is where I read to you from some of the best health and fitness blogs on the web, kind of like an ongoing audiobook, and always with a bit of my commentary at the end. And every Wednesday, I always share a little bit of inspiration with you. And since today's Wednesday, it's time. So here we go. Quote, "Once you find something you love to do, be the best at doing it." Debbie Fields. All right, and with that, let's get right to it as we optimize your life. Ring the Alarm. Off Limits, The Enemy of Success by Roger Lawson of rajlawfitness.com. Once upon a time, my homeboy, J.C. Dean, set the internet ablaze with his article addressing the concept of clean eating, touching on why it should be buried and added to the list of words never to be uttered again. I, for one, couldn't be happier to grab a shovel and start digging. Why so serious? All it takes is one look in the comment section of JC's post to come to the conclusion that people are highly protective of their food choices, and when they are threatened, are likely to resort to verbal diarrhea in its defense. Take, for instance, this gem from the comment section. Quote, "I tried to read your article with an open mind, but as the author of a clean eating recipe blog and somebody who has been eating clean for over 3 years now, I have to strongly disagree with you on just about every level. You also state, quote, 'Food is neither clean nor unclean, but merely energy my body needs to function and survive,' end quote. Not true. The body processes different foods very differently. The more refined and processed a food is, the worse it is for your body. The body processes refined foods very quickly and dumps the glucose into the bloodstream. The pancreas then has to kick into overdrive to make up for the excess. Do this often enough, and you end up with diabetes." End quote. The inaccurate claims made here are an entirely separate issue, but if nothing else, it highlights one important fact. This person didn't read the article at all. The fitness and health industry is home to some of the internet's finest alarmists. In one camp, you have those who swear that carbs, especially when consumed mere moments after the moon rises, will magically don pimp attire and invite all the neighborhood fat into your body for a night on the town. They often worship at the altar of fat. If carbs are the problem, then unlimited amounts of fat are the solution. Then, of course, you have those who place the blame of the globe's ever-expanding waistline on the consumption of fat. These folks are responsible for more egg yolk homicides than Humpty Dumpty, and they are more than likely to push an elderly lady into oncoming traffic if she even offers them a bite of her cheeseburger. These are only a few examples of the many camps and factions running amok today, but they all represent reductionist thinking, which is at best unproductive, and at worst, misleading, and acts as a roadblock on the path to objectivity. Nevertheless, when debate sparks and one's ideology is challenged, unsubstantiated statements and strawman arguments are without a doubt lurking nearby. Their baby is under attack, and it is their duty to defend her with all the zeal they can muster. And if that means cherry-picking scientific research or downright creating facts out of thin air in order to back up their viewpoints, then so be it. Emotional content. In the commenter's quote, they barely made it past the headline of the article before diving headfirst into an emotional response due to thinking that their way of eating was under attack, when that couldn't be further from the truth. Do you see the problem with this trend? I'll admit that when you feel justified in doing so, it's hard to not respond emotionally to particular topics, and it's something all of us have done at one time or another. But here's the thing. You don't have to give in to your emotions when responding. Take a step back. Breathe in, breathe out. Woosah. Come back after you've had time to reflect on the merits of the argument and can respond in turn. That is the power of the interwebs. You can be as cool, calm, and collected as you want to be, or fly off at the mouth making false claims, only to end up looking like a supreme muffin. The choice is yours, and yours alone. Pitfalls of extremism. The worst part about maintaining an extreme point of view is that, in most cases, you are hurting yourself the most. Taking such a stance ensures that you are often so far to either side that no sort of middle ground can be seen from your vantage point, and there's no room left for the possibility of learning something that may change your mind for the better. You are shut off. Your thoughts have been crystallized, and that's that. Excuse me, are you saying something? Nuh-uh, you can't tell me nothing. If that road is one we'd like to leave less traveled, what's the alternative? Clean eating, the problem. The best way to level up your knowledge game is to become a student of life again, realizing that what you know now isn't all that there is to know, and that within every interaction is the opportunity to learn more. Lee Peel wrote a fantastic article on the subject of cheat meals and how the way we're approaching them is fundamentally wrong, and I couldn't agree more. By setting yourself up to cheat, you are operating under the false assumption that what you are about to eat is wrong and that you shouldn't be having it. By placing certain foods into a different category than those that you normally eat, you are putting them on a pedestal, which increases the likelihood that you are craving said foods because of the simple fact that you told yourself that you shouldn't be eating them. Clean eating, the solution. Objectivity, common sense, and moderation should act as your guideposts. This was the entire point of JC's original article, but many people seem to have abandoned ship before getting far enough into the piece to recognize this fact. Realize that no foods are off limits whatsoever, and that having the body that you desire and living the life that you want don't have to be at odds with one another. Make sure that you get adequate protein, 3 to 4 grams of fish oil, lots of veggies, some fruit, and fill the rest of your caloric allotment with what is commonly referred to as discretionary calories, which can come from apple pie to zucchini and everything else in between. The human body is a beautiful piece of adaptable hardware, so make sure to experiment and find what is best for you, because in the end, that's all that matters. As long as you're moving towards your goals, let your results speak for you, and leave the worrying to those who are awesome at it. I'd like to leave you with a quote from Lyle McDonald's research review in which he tackles this very subject. Quote, "Given caloric control, the body's response to a given set of nutrients, with the exception of blood lipids, would appear to be more determined by total caloric and macro content of that meal, more than the source of the food. In terms of the hormonal response, clean versus unclean just doesn't matter. It's all about calories and macros." You just listened to the post titled, "Ring the Alarm, Off Limits, the Enemy of Success" by Roger Lawson of rajlawfitness.com, and I'll be right back with my commentary. Taking charge of my health has been a priority for me, but navigating today's one-size-fits-all healthcare system can feel overwhelming. That's why I'm so excited about 23andMe Plus Total Health. It's not just a health membership. It's a way to get personalized insights that matter to me. For me, reaching the next level of health means understanding my genetic blueprint and what it says about my future risks. It's about being proactive, not reactive. With 23andMe Plus Total Health, I've begun leveraging advanced genetic screening and comprehensive blood tests. Getting started was a breeze. I received a sleek kit in the mail, which made diving into my health journey both easy and exciting. What intrigues me the most is the biological age analysis. It's fascinating to see how lifestyle changes can influence how old I really am inside. Plus, having access to clinicians with genetics expertise to guide me through a personalized health plan feels incredibly empowering. Advocate for your health today. Go to 23andme.com/OHD to receive 10% off. That's 10% off at 23andme.com/OHD.
This episode is brought to you by La Quinta by Wyndham. Your work can take you all over the place, like Texas. You've never been, but it's going to be great because you're staying at La Quinta by Wyndham. Their free Bright Side breakfast will give you energy for the day ahead. And after, you can unwind using their free high-speed Wi-Fi. Tonight, La Quinta. Tomorrow, you shine. Book your stay today at LQ.com.
Dr. Neil here for my commentary. Today's author, Roger, and regular contributor to this show, J.C. Dean, both agree that so-called reductionist thinking can hinder our success. Roger argued very clearly the reasons why this could be an issue, like how avoiding certain foods may make us crave them even more. And yes, this is very possible and often happens. It comes down to our very nature as human beings. We like options. We don't want to be restricted in our options. We want to be allowed the freedom to choose whatever foods we want whenever we want them. When we do restrict them, part of us wants to rebel a little, again, because we like having more options. Now, in the beginning, it can feel really good to limit which foods we can and can't have because it makes meal planning and prepping a lot easier. But after a while, we want to be able to eat freely and without restrictions again. So, if it's possible, let's think about adding foods into our meals instead of removing them, like adding more vegetables and other whole foods and then eating those first. Then what will automatically likely happen is we push out those foods that aren't so great for us. When we add in more foods that are good for our bodies, that'll tend to push out those foods that maybe aren't so great. So we may end up consuming them less often and still feel just as satisfied. And the best part is, we haven't told ourselves we cannot have a certain food or ingredient. All right, that'll do it for today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here on tomorrow's show where your optimal life awaits.